Hello. So today we meet for a tutorial, and largely the idea here is that you've been hearing about and perhaps reading about all these different theoretical perspectives and ways of looking at the world. I want you now to do some theorizing yourself, to try and see especially the theories that we read on this week. This particular tutorial I've designed based on this week's lectures, but also drawing from previous theories. I would be open to that. So what I want you to do is pick a few spaces around you. Obviously, one of them I would think would be good to have your own household, but then also the shopping mall, your university or college, the public square, the street, the bus stand, the cinema hall, a healthcare facility nearby, a means of transportation such as the public bus or a train. It's wide open, the sabzi mandi, vegetable market. You think of, this is not an exhaustive list. I'm just putting some spaces out there, but I want you to pick a few spaces, one in your household, like your household, and one outside your household, and start to look at what kinds of work and labor sustain those places, and what is counted as work and what is somewhat invisible, either behind the scenes work, or is it naturalized and normalized as care work, such as that it is not even seen as work or labor. Now, the first step is to kind of observe it. I want you to go out, be in those spaces for extended amounts of time, historically try and also situate that this is how it used to be, this is how it is now, these are the transitions. This you can do by talking to people, talking to your family, talking to those that you meet on the street or in that particular site that you've chosen. Also looking at, maybe if it's a very, very public space that has a history, then looking at it through the archives, through the newspapers, or any other sources that you might imagine, through cinema, all of that. So be creative in that, but try to get a sense of what enables activities or work or life in a particular place, and how does that place also either structure it in a particular way or constrain particular activities, such as a gated community allows some people to come in and doesn't allow other people to come in, right? A particular arrangement of tables and chairs in a room either facilitates discussion or encourages a more one-way lecture. So things like that. I really want you to pay attention to social relations in space and in time. So when I say time, I am actually asking you to do what, let's say, Nancy Fraser did for the United States context. How did domestic work and domestic labor shift in yours or your parents or your grandparents' generations? What possibilities become open and what new constraints or ways of looking at things develop? So first is observation. The next step is description by paying particular attention to time, historical time, but also the everyday or the seasonal, occasional occasions and all of that, and also space. Here I want you to refer you back to Dolores Hayden's work on how the built form structures social relations. So pay attention to that. How is your city? How is your house? What kind of architecture is there? What kind of spatial layouts, and how they facilitate or don't facilitate the engagements, the social engagements in those particular spaces. Then I want you to draw upon and call upon the various theories that we have studied so far and interpret what you have observed using a theoretical lens or several theoretical lenses. And you might even want to develop something that combines theoretical lenses or is coming directly from your observations but using tools that you have studied. It could be new articulations, new vocabularies, new ways of connecting, and new ways of making visible and evident that might have been fetishized or hidden behind the veil. In the fourth aspect of this particular assignment, I want you to reflect upon what you might have seen that is new because of the theories that you have now learnt about, and what might have been invisible to you before but is now quite clear right there in your face. So a little bit of reflection, always a good idea. So this tutorial will culminate in an assignment for this week, which you will, in the way NPTEL does it, you would get it separately. So in terms of the assignment for this week, I want you to write about a 250 word. It could also be a visual depiction or in words, about 250. Description, like in that it is largely telling what you have observed, not necessarily kind of doing the second order mediation onto that observation. So that is the first step that you put in one side. And then the second step of theorization, of interpretation, of making analytical leaps and connections, the aspect of mediation. So the immediate and the mediated. These two things I want you to present separately. The theorization, the mediation is to be around 300 words. And then in about 150 words, I want you to reflect on what is it that you have been able to see, to read, to observe that wouldn't have been possible without a knowledge of these theories. So very simple, I hope an enjoyable tutorial and an assignment, and I look forward to reading what you observe, how you analyze, and what you write. So all the best for that. See you in the next lecture. Bye.